What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. It's been a while for me. It's been about a year. I got married. I've been working in corporate America. I got a golden retriever. But anyways, recently I've just got the itch to make content again, and I want to keep up a schedule and go from here. So in the past, I made these videos called Lesson Learned, which if you're not familiar, they'll pop up right here. But basically, I just dove into some of the things we learned from our childhood favorite games. Anyways, I basically want to evolve that video into something new called What Makes It Great. So this will be the first What Makes It Great video, and basically we just look at our most remembered games, the most prominent games in our life, and just look at what made them so great, and basically just take a deep-ish dive into them. It'll be about 10 to 15 minute videos, give or take, but maybe down the road we'll make some longer retrospective videos if these do well. Today we are looking at one of the most iconic games of all time, and that is Wii Sports for the Nintendo Wii. Now, it's been over a decade since this game's release. Yeah, a decade. We're old. But its impact on the gaming industry, it's felt to this day. That game changed a lot. So what is Wii Sports? Well, Wii Sports was a sports video game with motion controls developed and published by Nintendo specifically for the Nintendo Wii console. It was released in November 2006 as a launch title for the Wii, and it was a huge success. It actually sold 82 million copies worldwide. However, it's kind of cheating because it was boxed in with the Wii. So anyways, what made this game so great? Well, let's go take a look. Follow me right over here. Come along. Don't get left behind. As mentioned before, Wii Sports is a sports simulation game, and it includes 5 sports: tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing. So let's take a dive and look at these 5 sports and what made them so fun. Starting off with a classic is tennis, the one that broke your TV the most. In this game, you'd use the Wii remote as a racket, swing it back and forth, and you'd volley that ball across the net. You'd serve it, lob it over, try to hit it far to the corner, throw your teammate off. It was super fun, and the music was great. The sound effects were great. I loved the sound effects coming out of the Wii remote itself, and just that hitting back and forth. It was super fun. But as I said, you know, you're swinging so hard, that thing comes off your wrist, or it's not even on your wrist, and you are breaking your TV. Anyways, you could play against your family, you could play against the computer, you could play against Matt, who is a computer, but more like a human, and he would probably kick your butt. But anyways, yeah, tennis was great, and check this out.
You can see right here, I'm getting ready to serve. All I do is throw that ball up in the air, and when oh, jeez, and there goes the tennis racket.
Next up is baseball. Now, baseball was fun sometimes. My problem with baseball was, you know, it was like tennis. So you would use the motion controls and you'd hold the remote and swing like a baseball bat, and you know, you'd pitch. The faster you threw that thing, the faster the ball would go, and that's also how you broke your TV. But my problem was there wasn't too much playability. I mean, you could change what kind of pitch you wanted to do, but you basically just had to swing, and wherever you hit the ball, you know, if you hit it too light, you'd basically be out, or they make an error, or you get a single. You couldn't, it was basically just random based on where you hit the ball. But I don't know, that was still fun. I liked hitting a home run and the fireworks going off, and you know, most of the time you're hitting singles, but you couldn't steal bases, you couldn't be a catcher, you couldn't play the field. It was just batting and pitching. So it wasn't too intuitive, but at the time it felt like it. Next up, we have bowling. I think bowling was probably the favorite. Maybe tennis, like I said, but maybe bowling. I think bowling was the one that your grandma was playing, your mom was playing, everybody was playing. But yeah, you'd use the Wii remote to simulate throwing the ball down the lane, and you could use the up, down, left, right. I'm drawing a blank. What's it called? The up, down, left, right. You could use that to kind of decide where you're going to throw the ball. You know, if you want to curve it to the right, curve it to the left. So to throw a strike, you'd go all the way to the right, and then you would hold B and basically just tilt the Wii remote to the left and just bend the ball to the left, and usually you could throw a strike every time. And this was before YouTube was even big, so if you figured that out, I know basically people figured out how to just get 300s every single game and make their brothers and sisters pissed off, but it was still super fun. And I loved the music in bowling, super relaxing, and I also loved the throwing the ball back into the crowd and them spinning. Cue it. But yeah, bowling was probably my favorite sport, and I had a great time playing it. Great memories. Next up, we have the coziest of all of them, and that is golf. Basically, you'd play a virtual round of golf, and you would use the Wii Remote to simulate a golf club, and you'd swing back, swing forth. It was the one that your grandpa and your dad loved the most, but it was super fun. I never hit a hole-in-one. A couple of my buddies did, and I was there to witness it, but sadly, I have never hit one. There were a bunch of different holes, and the wind would blow different directions, and that was about it. It was fun. It was simple, but it was fun. And you could play against your friends. You could play best 3 holes. You could play 6 holes, play 9 holes, and it was relaxing. And if you can tell, the music that's been playing under all these tracks is actually the music from the game for that specific sport. Last but not least, we have, well, my least favorite, and that is boxing. Yeah, Wii Sports boxing was fun, but it was just, there wasn't much to do. If you were a boxing mat, you would probably kick your butt. But I guess the cool thing about it was the nunchuck. You would use the nunchuck, you would attach it to your Wii Remote, and you'd use that to punch as well. I did like the music. You can hear it playing right now. But basically, yeah, you would just hold the Wii Remote and the nunchuck and punch your way to victory. You could duck and weave. That was cool. But yeah, the music was the highlight of boxing for me. Yeah, it wasn't the most fun, but it was still cool. So yeah, that was a brief overview of the 5 sports. But, while the sports were super fun, just to be honest with you, if the game released today, I don't really know how great of a game it would be. Looking back on 2006 standards, it was so different. We didn't have anything like it. The motion controls were not existent. I mean, brand new technology, and it was just incredible. And I think the reason I say that is because there's so much nostalgia built up in it. So, for example, Switch Sports just released, last year, and it didn't do too great. And I think it's just because we have that rose-colored glasses childhood nostalgia that made this game so incredible, and Switch Sports just didn't live up to it for most people because the music wasn't as good. Secondly, the Miis weren't back. Screw that. The Miis need to stay. And before people in the comments, yes, the Miis were in the game, but they were not the main focus anymore. But yeah, there's a reason why games like FIFA, PGA, all the 2K games, there's a reason that, they just kind of come and go. We're not going to look back and think, oh, FIFA 2017 was the best game I've ever played in my life. There's more to Wii Sports that made it so popular. So I kind of want to take some time to dive into what those things are that contributed to the game's success. Well, let's start with the obvious, and that is motion controls. As I mentioned multiple times, all of the sports, were very highly utilized by motion controls. And this was like the first time in gaming history that you could pick up a remote and simulate using it. And it was pretty cool for people who, aren't that good at sports, or just somebody who's really old and can't necessarily throw a bowling ball anymore. It was really fun for them. And yeah, it was intuitive, it was easy to pick up, and it really made you feel like you were playing the actual sport without getting sweaty. However, I guess you could get sweaty if you tried too hard. Another huge factor to this game's success was kind of what I just mentioned. It was incredibly accessible. If you were really old, you could now golf again, you could now bowl again, you could play tennis again. People who weren't gamers could pick up that remote and just have fun with a video game. And really, it didn't matter your age or your gaming experience. You could just pick it up and start playing. And this made it a perfect game for family gatherings, for parties, and just fun nights in with friends. I remember anytime I'd go over to my cousin's house, we were always playing Wii Sports against each other. My parents wanted to get in. There was a ton of core memories. So if you have any core memories with Wii Sports whatsoever, I want to hear them. So I have a few. I told you before, I saw a couple friends get hole-in-ones in golf. It's not a core memory, but it's cool. A real core memory was playing baseball with my cousin. And he was pitching, trying to throw the fastball as fast as he could. And yeah, he didn't have the thing attached to his wrist and shattered their TV. It's not fun to break your TV, so if you're ever playing Wii Sports again, make sure to attach that thing to your wrist. Another thing about Wii Sports is it brought gaming to the masses. Even the people who were critical of video games, now, hey, I'm getting a workout in, I'm playing Wii tennis, I don't have to go outside anymore, mom, see? It basically just showed that video games could be for everyone. Today video games have dominated the market, the most expensive market ever. bigger budgets than movies now, bigger audiences than movies. It all kind of comes back to Nintendo changing the game with the Wii. You know, anybody could get in, not even hardcore gamers. And also, it kind of paved the way for other companies to follow the success. And that was the Kinect for the Xbox, you know, Xbox Off, or the PlayStation Move. And both pretty much copied off the sensor bar. They were both unique in their own way, but they both kind of copied off the sensor bar of the Wii itself. However, Kinect did better than PlayStation Move, but both basically came nowhere close to touching the Wii. But they were still fun in their own way. If you trace the line back to Wii Sports, it's pretty interesting. Like, you can just see the games it's inspired over time. It's inspired entire industries. I mean, let's look at the VR industry as a whole. The Quest 2, the Rift, I mean, any of them, but the Quest 2 is what I think of. You know, you can bowl, and the remotes are pretty reminiscent of the motion controls of the Wii in general. So yeah, I mean, pretty much the whole VR industry has some sort of tie back to the Wii if you really want to go there. But yeah, so while Wii Sports, you know, sold 82 million copies, I think the next game was like Mario Kart selling 30 million. But the game was super successful, and Nintendo did not let it die. The IP did not let it die. It did capitalize on it a bit, and its next game was Wii Sports Resort, which I won't cover in this video, but I will probably make a What Makes a Great video about Wii Sports Resort, because that game was freaking awesome. And then Wii Sports Club right after that for the Wii U. I never even played the Wii U. That's the era I skipped, unfortunately, but I heard it sucked. I'm sorry if you liked it. Maybe it was good. And lastly, the one I did play recently, that was Nintendo Switch Sports. And when it was first released at that Nintendo Direct, I was pumped. But when I got it, unfortunately, I was bummed. I mean, the Mii's, as I mentioned earlier, the rose-colored glasses weren't on, and I don't know. Looking back at Wii Sports, you know, like I said, if it was released today, it might suck. But back in 2006, looking at it through my 2006 glasses, that game changed so much stuff because nothing was like it. But today, there is stuff like it. So when Switch Sports comes out, I don't know, it released like 5 games. I felt like a DLC. It was, I think it was $40, $50 if you wanted the soccer thing. And the sports were all right. I mean, it didn't hit for me. And I'm glad if it hit for you, and I hope it did. But to me, it was more of a letdown. It felt like more of like a third-party game. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Anyways, in conclusion, to wrap this whole thing up, put a bow on it, Wii Sports changed everything. Like I said, its use of motion controls, its accessibility, just its social aspect as a whole made that game appealing to almost every single person. And it's a game that will always have a special place in my heart. 9 out of 10, Wii Sports is such a great game, and it changed a lot. So yeah, thanks for sticking around to see what really made Wii Sports so great. If there's anything else I missed that you think made it great, please comment below. And also, another comment to make, what's the next game you want to see analyzed? I have some ideas floating around, but I also want to do what people want to see as well. I want to dive into some games that you all like. And it doesn't have to be an old game either. It can be, you know, Elden Ring from last year, or Tears of the Kingdom, which comes out literally tomorrow as I'm recording this. It could be any game, but yeah, we just want to dive in and see what makes some of these games so great. So anyways, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you think this video deserved a like, please give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and hit the notification bell as well if you want to see more. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time, and have a great day.